Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another midweek crafty night here at Mommy Guide Inc. For those who are new to my channel, I am Mommy Lala. All right, so for tonight, we're gonna be doing distress crayons versus gelatos versus neo color 2. Alright. So, ano-ano po ba tong mga distress crayons na to? Gelato, neocolor, pagkain ba to? Alright, hindi ho. Or, okay. So, they're actually water reactive pigment color medium. Alright. So, for those who have been in the crafting community for quite a while, you know that sikat na sikat like a decade ago or so, yung gelatos. And then in 2016, pumasok yung distress crayons. And then eventually, Carandash came into the country. Although Carandash has been like a long time brand, no? It's from Switzerland. Kaya lang parang halfway through the 2000s na siya actually parang nakapasok sa Philippines. And then, in the crafting community, or maybe earlier, hindi ko lang alam, pero for me, that is the last one na medyo kilala. Okay, so for me. Alright, so let's start. So, let's introduce and see sino-sino ba or ano-ano ba tong distress crayons na ito. Alright. Okay, hold on. Okay. So, eto yung distress crayons as you can see on your screen. Okay, so ang ginawa ko po, okay, so I have, okay, yung distress crayons na almost similar color in the gelato and the neo color 2. Okay, 2 po kasi yung neo color 1 ng Carandash, hindi ho siya water soluble. Alright? So, make sure that if you will buy, it has to be this one, the Neo Color 2 Aquarel. Alright. Okay, you can actually buy this in Art Bar, individual. Pwede itong bilhin, kasi medyo mahal po ito eh. Kaya they sell individual. Pero, most of the time, naka-tin can po siya, something like this. Hold on. Okay. Like this. Alright, so it says Neo Color 2 Water Soluble. Okay, so Carandash. Okay, so it's a Swiss company. Okay, Geneve, France. Alright, so again, so we have here red, blue, and yellow. Okay, so again, these are water reactive pigment color medium. What do you mean by water reactive? Okay, ibig sabihin ng water reactive, nagre-react siya with water. Okay, so for those who are familiar with the concept of distress ni Tim Holtz, so the whole line of distress is actually water reactive. Okay, so this was just one of the additions sa distress line ni Tim Holtz, yung distress crayon. Okay? So, most of the time, we compare them, okay, simply because they are all water reactive pigments. Okay? But are they actually truly the same? Alright. So, yun po yung titignan natin. Okay? So, I'll just move this aside so that we can see for sure. Alright. So, okay. Alright. So, let's start with, okay. So, we will try to compare them. First and foremost, okay, how do you use them? Alright. So, let's start with how to use them. Okay. Hold on. I'll just get the paper. Okay. Okay. So, how to use them? Okay. So, yung distress crayons look like this. They look like parang markers. Okay. Tapos, may takip. And it's retractable. So, naiikot. also retractable. So you just turn it around to make it go. Parang lipstick. Like the concept ng lipstick, right? Okay. So, if you pull it out, it's more or less parang 2.5 to 2.75, parang ganyan. Inch, I forgot. Yung length nung mismong pigment mo. Okay. And then, the gelato is more or less the same. Okay. So, how do you use the gelato? The same thing, no? So, open mo yung one side and then dun sa other side, iikutin mo siya. So, retractable din siya. Like so. Okay? And then, yung karandash, siya talaga parang crayon. Okay? So, wala ka nang kailangang open or diretso na. Okay? Ang pag-apply sa kanya. Okay? And then, you apply it just like a regular crayon. Okay? So, and then we will now test, okay, and compare them based on different media. So, let's say, I mean paper. Okay? So, I tested them on black, okay, cardstock. On watercolor paper, kasi water reactive nga po, diba? So, kaya I use also a watercolor. And then a craft paper, kasi normally we like using craft, diba? Sa ating mga crafting. Okay, so you have black cardstock, craft cardstock, and a watercolor paper. Okay, so dyan muna. Okay? So, let's try first, okay, okay, this one is the yellow. Okay, so let's try first. Okay, so the first one here is actually distress crayon, and this one is the gelato, and this one is the carandash. Okay, so how do you apply them? Okay, so the first thing you do, again, di ba retracted siya? Okay, so just, you know, put down, okay, the crayon or the color onto the paper. Okay, in this case, itong ating black cardstock. Okay, and then just with your finger, dry finger. So, dry paper, dry finger. Okay, and since this is pigment, since it's pigment, therefore, it means that it can show on dark paper. So, in this case, this is black paper. Okay, so you see, na-blend po siya, okay? So, nasa-smudge siya. Okay, so let's go and clean my fingers so we can move on to the next one. So, to clean your fingers, so, okay, so walang kailangang tool, no? Kamay, finger nyo lang. Okay, so linisin nyo lang po. Okay, and then get a dry tissue to dry it. Kasi dry lang muna tayo, mamaya tayo sa wet. So, that's the distress. Okay, so let's go on to the yellow na gelato. Okay, so I will apply just like what I did kanina. Okay, and then I will smudge with my finger, the same finger. Okay, it blends so easy and it feels like butter to my fingers. Alam niyo po yun, yung ganun siya ka-smooth when you, it's like wala kang ka-effort when you try to lay it on to the paper. Okay, so, and then finally, we use the neocolor, okay, carandash. Okay, so let's put it here, like so. Again, the same finger. Okay, so you would see, nahihirapan po ako slight to smudge it. But the minute that, you know, na-smudge ko na siya, kumbaga na-lay down ko na yung pigment, smooth na po siya. Alright? So, that's how, this is how it looks like. Okay? So, this yellow, the squeezed lemonade, ni Distress Crayon. Alright? And then, the gelato. Okay? The lemon ni gelato. Okay? And the yellow ni carandash. Alright? So, ganito po yung itsura niya. Alright. So, you see, this one, mas kita siya, right? Mas opaque siya. Okay, so normally, if it's on a dark paper, these are pigments, so you can actually, it will show whether it's dark blue, dark black yan, whatever. whatever paper yan, makikita kasi pigment. Because pigment, unlike the dye, it's like on top of the media or the paper. So it floats. Alright? So that's why you can see it. But then why is it that some are more opaque and some are parang less? Okay, parang less yung vibrancy niya. Okay, because some might have more white on them. So in that case, then mas nakikita mo siya. Alright? So dito parang okay, but because there's black, okay, so parang nagiging green siya. Okay? Except for yung kay karandash. Kitang-kita mo pa rin siya na yellow. Okay, again, this is on black paper and simple smudging lang. Alright, good evening, Miss Kathleen. Okay. Okay, I hope may matutunan ko po tonight, Miss Kathleen. Alright. So now, we use the same thing. Okay, the same, no? The same three. Okay, distress crayon, gelato, karandash. This time around on, okay, black paper pa din, but, okay, we're gonna use, kumbaga, meron ng water. Okay? Okay, so distress crayon ulit. Okay, but this time around, okay, I will wet my finger. Okay. So, ibig sabihin may water. Okay, and then I will smudge it. Alright. So, it was easier to smudge it when my finger was a little bit wet. Okay. And then, let's do the, okay, gelato. Okay, again, grab a tissue, wet my finger a little bit. Again, just like the first one kanina, it really blends like butter. Okay. Hi, Samantha. Go, anak. You can do it. You can finish all your deliverables. You can do it. All right. Okay, please, everybody, pray for my daughter po. She's on a very strict deadline. All right. Okay, and then the last, okay, is the karandash. Again, just like the first one, na dry yung fingers ko, it was hard to actually blend it or smudge it. But the minute it gets smudged, it's like the gelato. Okay, it's smooth already. Alright, so that is what it looks like with wet tissue. Okay, so let's do a side by side. Okay, so nothing, hindi naman masyado yung difference, no? So, ito yon. Ito yung, okay, sa taas nito, so that's the distress crayons. Okay, and then these two are the gelatos, and then these are the karandash. So, whether with the wet tissue or with dry fingers, okay, so the opacity or yung nagiging difference lang is that it's easier to smudge it when you have a little bit of water on when you're trying to smudge them. Okay, so that's on black paper or dark paper. Okay, so how about on craft paper? Okay, so this time around, I'm gonna use the blue. Okay, again, distress crayon, gelato, and karandash. Okay, so, you know, it's not exactly the same blue, but more or less, they're the closest that I can find in my collection. Alright, so in the blue, okay, so this one is regular dry smudge, meaning just my finger. And then this one is with wet tissue. Okay, so this is what I came up with. Again, it would look just like the first one when we did it with the black paper. Almost the same. Okay, so let's just do it fast so that you would see. Okay, so distress crayon. Okay, just the dry one. Okay, and then you have the gelatos. Okay, I want to clean my finger in between. Okay, so that we'll get the real color. Okay, and then finally, the karandash. Okay, again, the beginning of the smudging, a little bit hard. Okay, there you go. Alright, so that's with just dry smudging. Okay, with the use of just one finger. All right. So how about this time around, we use, okay, wet. We use water. Okay, so again, I just wet my finger. Again, it blends like butter. Very similar to the gelato. Okay, I just wet my finger again. And there you go. Okay, and finally, the carandash. So, you know, guys, I think the reason why carandash is more expensive amongst the three, you know, for the three, the cheapest is the gelato, and then the this just crayon, and then the most expensive is this one, the carandash. I think because, you know, it has more pigment basically, because it's like 3 inches long, and the rest are like just like 2.5 or 2.75 lang yung meron sila. Alright, so this is with wet tissue, and this is with dry on craft paper. Again, very similar results. Alright, but it's easier to smudge them if you put a little bit of water. Okay, how about for watercolor paper? This is a heavy watercolor paper. Okay, so again, this is the dry and this is the wet, and then I used red. Okay, similar. Okay, so I won't do it anymore. All right, so again, similar lang po. It's just easier to smudge or blend when it's wet. Okay, when you have a wet yung pinambe-blend mo. And then I went through it again, okay, using a watercolor paper, but this time around, okay, not just, you know, just making my finger wet, okay, but really using like this one, water, okay, in a spray bottle. Okay, I used the distress sprayer. Okay, so what I did was, okay, so let's use the back part of it. Okay, so I placed, okay, so distress crayons, okay, and I smudge it, okay, and then I placed okay, gelato, okay, and smudge again, okay, and then finally the carandash, okay, and smudge again. Okay, and then this time around, okay, we will spritz a bit of water onto it, and let's see what happens. All right, okay, so both of them, 2 spritz, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. Okay, so do you see what's happening? Do you see how okay, so let's spritz some more. Go one pa, one. Okay, so do you see how the media is actually moving? There's extreme movement on the carandash and the gelato, but not much on the distress crayons. All right, so that's basically the difference. Okay, that's why Tim Holtz before said he is hesitant to say that distress crayon are actually like gelatos. Although both of them are water reactive pigments, they don't actually behave the same way. All right, because he really wanted the distress crayon to stay put. Okay, unless he wants it to move. Okay, so how does one move it? So since it's water activated or reactive, so the minute that there's water there and then you move it, then it will move. See? You see it move? Now it moves. But unless you do that, it won't move. Unlike the gelato or the carandash, even with just the spritz of the water, you see it moving, right? So basically, that's the main difference. So what does that mean? How will that affect, okay, the use of these pigments? Okay, so that would affect how you're going to be using them. So if you want, I've actually had these crayons, distress crayons for, like, it came out 2016 and I've had it since like last quarter of 2016, 17, 18, 19, 22, almost 5 years. And I've never, like, I used it once or twice. And both times that I used it, the last one I used with the crafty sister, Ayien, we were really very disappointed because we had that mindset that we wanted to blend as nicely as the gelato. The nice thing with the distress crayons po kasi, it comes in so many colors. You know, the distress line colors, it's all there. Except for the new ones. I think they are, I think meron na rin yung mga kits flamingo. Meron na rin yata. Anyway, so, tawag dito, it was not as nice to blend with as the gelatos. Because we have that thinking that they're actually the same. Alright? And that you can actually use one in place of the other. Okay? But when we actually researched it, and then Tim Holtz himself, okay, the creator of, through Ranger, the creator of the Distress Crayon, said that he really didn't want this to be moving unless he wants it to move. Because he wants to be able to use this in a way that will be useful for him when he do distress techniques. All right. So what do we mean? Okay, this is what he meant basically. All right. So this is originally like this. Okay. So just a plain watercolor paper cut in a tag. Okay. So for easy comparison. All right. So we have here just like what we did kanina. So we're still using the red. So distress crayon first, and then the gelatos, and then the Neocolor 2. Okay? So what happened? Okay. So what I did here is to actually hold on. I will get. Okay. All right. So I used this stencil. Okay, one of the mini stencils of Tim Holtz lines. Okay, so I basically just placed it on top of. Okay, let's get another one. Okay, one. This is a plain watercolor paper. I just simply placed it on top like so. Okay, and then just placed some pigment onto the middle part like so. Okay, and then rubbed it in with my finger, just the middle part, just like that. Okay, and then removed it. Okay, and then I let it dry. Okay, because it's wax, right? So it's a little bit it still has that waxy feeling. So I let it dry a little bit to make it harder because I activated it like that. So what happened is it's gonna look like, so I did the same thing, right? So for the gelatos, and then also for, oops, it fell, hold on. All right, and then for the distress crayons. Okay, so this is what they look like. Okay, and then what did I do next? Okay, because I wanted to test also if what will happen if you use a distress oxide or ink, onto this pigments. All right. So I took a blending tool because if you've watched my video on how I organize my stuff, the way I organize my distress oxides, I put them in an acrylic tray, 6 in a tray, and then so that I don't need to buy like one color, one blending tool, I just put Velcro at the bottom, and then the blending foam goes at the back. All right, so I don't need, I just change this when it's really overused. Okay, so I just get this, and then I put it in the blending tool like so. Okay, so get some pigment. Okay, but this one I used a different one for this one. Okay, not Twisted Citron. Okay, and then I blended it. Okay, and this is how it now looks like. Okay, so look at this one. Okay, so the crayon, the pigment, somehow still there. Okay? So it didn't really react with the oxide. Alright? Because distress crayons dry up. Alright? When it's dry, you cannot move it anymore. Okay? So how do you move it? If you want to move it again, you either do two things. First, you put on distress crayon on top of it again to activate it. Alright? Or, you get water either through your finger or spritz it and then move it. That's how you can activate it again. Okay? But otherwise, if it dries up like this, right? I dried it up first and then I placed the distress oxide so it didn't move. Okay. So what happened to the gelato? Okay. So the gelato, unlike distress crayon, will always blend and will always move unless it gets sealed. Alright, with a collage medium. Okay? Or a decoupage, whatever it is you use. Okay, so what happened? You can see here, right? So when I blended in the distress oxide, it moved. Right? It moved. Okay? The same thing happened with the Neocolor. That's why you can see in the middle. See, it's smudged in the middle and to the sides as well. So in short, the Carandash and the Gelatos do not dry. Okay, so that's why now I understand why I didn't like the distress crayons in the beginning. Okay, because for me, my thinking was they were one and the same. It's just, a different packaging, different name. Just like, when you buy medicine or something, if it's the generic, right? It means that it's basically more or less the same active ingredient. It's just a different brand name, packaging, color, and stuff. But with this one, it's really different. The formulation is different, and therefore, the use can also be different. Though they are all activated, can be activated by water. Okay, but how? That's where the difference lie. All right. So basically, that is the differences and similarities between these three pigment water reactive pigments. All right. So tonight we're gonna come up with different projects. Okay, on using how to actually use these different products. So, but since all the Crafty Sisters, we don't really have like all of them. Okay, I have the three. Okay, but my other Crafty Sisters do not actually have all of them. I think most of them have the distress crayon or the gelatos or both. But I think I'm the only one who has the Carandash. All right, but at any rate, we will be coming up with water activated pigment projects for tonight. So if you have questions and you missed the first part of this stream, then feel free to just put your comments down below later, or after, if you ever watch on replay, then just put your questions or comments on the comment portion of either my Facebook page, Mommy Guide Inc., or my YouTube channel, or my personal page. All right, so let's see first the comments. Okay, Miss B. Hi, Lala and Sam. Good evening, Miss B. Miss B is Team Bahay tonight. All right. And Tracy is actually already inside, so we're just waiting for Sis Ayien. So good evening, Lala Crafty friends and everyone. Good evening to you too, Tracy. And hi, Timmy. Hi, Tita Lala, he said. Okay, Timmy is my son's best friend. All right, and finally, Sis Ayien. Yes, Sis Ayien, very timely because you need to come in already. All right, and Miss Rams is already inside. All right, so let's start crafting. Let's do Tracy first, and then Sis Ayien, and then Sis Rams, and then me. All right, so let's try it with Tracy. Go ahead, sis. Sis, do you want me to like zoom in a little bit?
Medyo ano mo kaya siya? Ah,
Hindi
ikaw,
kasi
ano
makita
ba?
pag zoom
Kita ba
out.
yung buong ano?
Hindi, kasi kapag ibubuo mo, hindi naman makita yung details. So, I would rather you go through the details, tapos you go up and down na lang. Okay, kumaga sa
Okay,
app
sige.
muna, para mas makita. Kasi pag ganito si
Gusto
so,
mo
hindi
ano?
makita yung detail. Hindi makita yung ganda niya eh. So, it has to
Or
be
pwede
like that.
kaya na i-ganon mo muna lang. Tapos ako i-discuss by ano.
Sige.
Para
I-push.
kita lang yung buo.
I-push up mo. Push up. Alright. Alright, there you go.
Yan.
Okay, sige.
Kita na?
Yes, audio a little bit louder, sis. Okay.
Ayan, kita na siya.
Talk a little louder, sis. Medyo mahina audio. Okay, go ahead.
Yan, okay. Ayan. So, ang naisip ko na gawin tonight is, ano nga yung tawag dito? Parang wall
Wall
decoration.
decor,
Oo, wall decor. Kasi nga, it's been a while na naglagay ako ng yung sa wall kasi nakalagay doon yung picture namin ni Happy. Tapos wala na.
Okay,
So naisip ko kanina, I think kagabi ata o kanina, na maging adventurous with gelatos. And
Go for
parang gumawa ng wall decor out of mga scraps na meron ako, and then nung binigay mo na materials nung nakaraang araw.
Alright.
I mean, nung nakaraang
Crafty Nights
ago. Parang gano'n. So I started with this one. Ito. Ano siya? Parang ano ba to, Lala?
Emboss. Embossing folder of a parang music sheet.
Yan. So, ang ako dito is hindi ko siya using Just Clear. Ginamitan ko siya ng gesso.
Okay.
Tumawag pa nga ako sa inyo kanina kasi hindi ko alam kung ano yung gagamitin.
So,
kasi
you primed with a clear gesso.
White.
Uh-uh.
So, gesso white yung ginamit ko. Gesso clear yung ginamit ko para ma-prime siya. And then, after ko na ma-prime, ginamitan ko ng kulay na pala ACC sponsoring my nagpahiram ng
Gelatos.
Ang ginamit kong kulay dito is I think the guava,
Okay,
the
guava.
buttercream,
Okay.
and bubble gum. So, kulay na ito yung ginamit ko. So, inano ko lang siya parang dinab-dab ko lang in random area.
And then
smudge.
smudge.
Huminga ako ng malalim. Huminga ako ng malalim. In-sprayan ko siya ng water, and then saka ko siya in-smudge.
Alright.
Ganun ko siya ng aking fingers. So, ang experience na yun is natuwa naman ako. Kaya lang kasi, diba, siya, ang tawag dito, it has to do with color choices.
Yeah.
So, yung bago ka mag-upisa pala, kailangan yung kulay mo magbe-blend well siya. Kasi parang pag hindi siya baka mukhang magiging muddy siya. Yung feel ko.
Yes.
Or ganun yung mangyayari, no?
Yes, that's true.
So, sa awa naman naging okay naman yung kulay, yung color mixing ko. And then, pinatuyo ko siya. Tapos, after nun, pinasikat ko. Kasi ang gusto ko talaga is i-fasikat yung yung mga air. Ayan, napasikat siya. Tapos, papatong ko siya sa another paper. Ang ginamit kong patungan niya is alam mo yung
backing. Backing ng Simple Stories.
So, hindi ko yung tinatapon. Yes. Hindi ko tinatapon kasi pwede ko siyang gamitin.
Repurposing.
Tapos, itong ginamit ko is, I think this is tissue. tissue paper.
Yes.
Tama,
For
no?
gifts.
Tissue
Yes.
paper.
Yes, it's tissue paper.
Yan. So, nilagyan ko siya ng glue. I think this one ang ginamit ko na glue. Ito para mas matibay yung tacky glue.
Tacky glue.
Yan. So, nabili ko ito kay Cra. Tapos, pagkatapos kong i-layer yung tissue, doon ko na nilagay yung mga pinasikat ko na music notes. So, syempre, kailangan kong mag-base dito sa dun sa isang white kasi gusto ko magkakasunod sila kasi nga di ba yung thing nila.
Okay.
So, inano ko talaga siya. Ha?
Oo, ang galing. Nakafasikat pala talaga yung mga, yung mismong music sheet ang nakafasikat.
Oo.
Oo.
Yes. Tapos, kailangan ko silang, sunod kulay para sunod din.
Oo.
Yun. So, pagkatapos kong i-layer yung yung music sheet na yan, nilagyan ko siya ng, naging favorite ko na rin to ha, dahil ito kay Ayien. Gold. Yung
Si art paste. Oo. Art wax. Oo, si gold na art wax.
Oo, yung art wax. Oo. So, ayan siya. Kung titinaw, ayan. Ilalapit ko. So,
Yan. So, may tinge of gold.
Nag-enjoy talaga ako sa pagpahit-pahit.
Alright.
Yes.
Nahay ka na rin
Random siya.
sa amoy.
Then, hindi ko, nahay ako
Ang
sa
bango ng amoy niya, di
And
ba?
then, hindi ko pa rin siya tinigilan.
Alright.
Amoy honey. Nilagyan ko rin siya nung binili na.
Oo, it's called glitter crystal.
Ano nga to?
Glitter crystal ni acrylic color.
Talagang tinitipid. Hindi ko mabuksan.
Ito na nga.
Tinitipid-tipid ko siya.
Oo, glitter
Tapos
crystal nga ang
nilagyan ko
tawag,
siya
sis.
sa ibabaw. Glitter crystal, no?
Yes.
Parang may ganito ay na binili ako. Yung ba yun?
Yes. Sa'yo yung malaki, akin yung maliliit.
Yun yun, di ba?
Yes.
Okay. So, bumili pa talaga ako.
Pareho kayo noon na nasa box. Marami siya. 8 yata yun.
Oo.
8 colors.
Oo. Kasi ito yung pinag-chat ko na huwag mag-boss. Yung marami ko. Okay.
O, diba?
Tapos din so nung natuyo na siya, pumili ako ngayon ng yung bago kong binili kay Kera na yung ipapasikat. Kung ano yung niya. So, ayan na siya, yung mga yung mga bears. Tapos, siya, para siyang yung mga mushroom, ganyan. And then, meron din kasi siyang mga mga words.
Sentiments, oo.
So, inilagay ko.
Kaya pala sabi ni
Ang tawag
John
ko kasi
very
kay
much.
Husky.
Kasi pala, I love you very much pala nakalagay.
Oo. So, ang tawag dito, ang tawag ko kasi kay Hubby is sweetheart. Ang tinatawag ng sweetheart.
Stamped yan, yung Hey Sweetheart.
I usually call hindi, siya, pinasikat ko lang din sa paper.
Okay.
So, ang ginawa ko is naglagay ako ng mga pasikat din tapos na doon ko pinatong yung mga sentiments.
So, naglayering
So,
ka.
nakapatong lang silang lahat dyan. Naglayering siya. Nakalagay is, hey sweetheart, I love you very much. Let's have some fun.
Together.
I am bananas for
For
you.
you. You make me happy. Aww.
Oo. And then lastly, nilagyan ko siya ng deli roll, favorite ko na gold. So, yung may mga I don't know kung nakikita Parang kita ba, Lala?
Angle, hindi
May mga area, oo, hindi. May mga area dito, wait lang ha. Hindi makikita.
Oo, yan yung
Pero
struggle
may mga
natin.
area dyan, may mga area dyan na highlight.
With the gold.
So, ayan na siya. So, excited ako ilagay sa wall ko to. Kasi kita siya. Takot katabi ka nung layout.
Correct. So, pag nakita ni
Thank you.
Peter
Tapos
yan
sa gilid,
tomorrow.
nilagyan ko pa ng gold.
Di ba may gold pa din? Alright.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sis Tracy. Awesome work. Okay, so let's go to Sis.
Thank you.
Hindi, Ayin, ihuli pala kita kasi may demo ka pa. Oo, si Miss Rams
Nakapag-demo
muna.
pa ba tayo 10:30? Sabagay,
Oo.
malapit na pala
Oo,
tayo.
Miss Rams. Miss Rams? Ay, nagliligpit si Miss Rams. Are you ready? Wala ka bang magic mode dyan katulad ni Ayin na ching? Ayan
Ayan,
na.
oh.
Oh, may magic din
Diba?
siya. Alright, so it's Miss Ram's turn. Okay. Ayan. Okay, there you go, Miss Rams. Audio, please. Okay.
This is my first one. Kita ba?
Hindi eh. Naaano tayo, overpower tayo ng ilaw. Angle. Ayan, malapit na.
Ilaw?
Ayan,
Okay.
angle lang,
Teka, ha?
angle.
I'll try to,
Yeah.
I'll
Medyo
try to, okay, teka
remove the
ha.
ilaw.
I'll see
Hindi pa rin po. Angle pa.
closer.
Some more. And then closer siguro. Tama si Ayin. Closer. Oop, okay. Angle. Away from... ayan. Okay,
Yan.
there. Sige. I think that's the best. Meron talagang area na meron glaring eh. Pero pwede na po. Sige. Okay, Miss Rams?
Pwede na. Okay. Di na. Okay. This one, okay. Yung paper ko, I use yung Vivania na Prestige. Hindi ako nag-prep, naglagay ng na primer. Wala. It's because nipis lang naman na spritz of water. So, what I did was base ng gelato, caramel, and what's the other one? Parang pearl na color. Dalawa. Para to create parang texture. Hindi siya masyado nakikita dito. Anyway, parang may texture yung background. And then, I embossed it using modeling paste and mixed it with gelato. So, I have various colors
Okay, so
here.
hindi lang po nakikita but there's texture there. Hindi lang makita
Yes,
na unfair ng camera mo. Hindi makita yung gorgeousness ng layout mo. Don't worry, I will ask her to post it po para makita nyo kung
Sige
gaano
lang.
kaganda. Hindi kasi
Oo.
makita, parang flat lang. But actually,
Yes,
there's
flat.
texture
Oo.
dyan. Oo.
Caramel, I use caramel and metallic king. Yun, dalawa yan. Metallic king, oo, dalawa yan. So, yan yung background. And then, emboss ko na modeling paste with
Miss Rams? Nag-freeze pa si Miss Rams?
Naghang.
Okay,
Parang
nag-freeze.
naghang.
Oh no, naghang si Miss Rams. Okay, don't worry, babalik si Miss Rams. Okay, so since wala pa siya, sis Ayin, ikaw muna.
Sige,
Okay,
sure.
ayan na. Oh, naka ano na siya, magic, ano na.
Tadaan!
Magic reveal. Tadan! Alright.
Okay, for my first layout, so I used my planner for this. I only have Vicky Butin crayons. So I have 4 colors, but I use 3 colors here: the green, the yellow, and the orange. Then after applying it, gumamit ako ng wet tissue para mas smooth ko yung color niya. Nirub ko lang siya using wet tissue. And then after that, I used a modeling paste and stencil. So I stenciled some areas, the 3 sides only. And I put what do you call this, Miss Lola? Yung copper na... Lagi ko nalilimutan. Ano call that?
Copper na.
Paste. It's a paste. It's a metallic gliding polish.
Polish. Oo.
sliding polish. Pero,
Gilding polish,
hindi ko
oo.
siya dinamihan. So, nag-stain lang ako.
Oo na.
Nakakainis kasi ang dark. Pero, yan, ganyan ang itsura niya. Parang scale ang itsura. Yan. Pati doon sa baba. And then after that, naglagay na ako ng additional na washi tape. So I used two types of washi tapes for this. Dito sa lower part. And I added this one yung smile worry less, smile often. Ano lang
Nakikita ko
yan.
yung pagka-glossy accent nung ano
Oo,
mo.
ako lang yung nag niyan, nag-write niyan. So pangit. Pero at least
Hindi
kahit
kaya,
paano
maganda
okay
kaya.
lang. So, yun, para lang to make it more lively, nilagyan ko siya ng accent. Yan,
May
there.
glossy
Diba?
accent.
Oo, may glossy accent ako nilagay and some of the stone, yan, yung mga nakikita nyo. Para mas crystallize siyang tingnan. Yan. And also some dotted, ano lang to, parang marker lang siya. Additional lang. And also, I used, again, my favorite sticker. Actually, this base frame is from Mintay. And then, I added a sticker from the Erudite Artist. Yan. And then, some of the Mintay flower elements, flora elements, and Prima flower. And then I also added accent to this one. Ang ganda oh.
Oo nga.
No?
Exactly.
There. So I added also one butterfly. So I will only close this one and then there. Oh, diba?
Oh, diba?
So that's my first. My second one is this sending big hugs. Actually, I want to use the red or black background. Pero it seems that the color blue is very one of the fun colors also. So that's why I use it. Para mas what do you call this, mangibabaw yung design na nilagay ko sa gitna. Kung makikita nyo, yung base ko, I also use Vicky Butin color Crayola for this. So I used the four colors, the red, the orange, the yellow, and the green one. And then again, I used the wet tissue to smudge, to to blend the color well. And after that, I embossed it with the new New embossing folder. I think this is one of Isabella's
Yeah.
design.
Is it
Yeah.
banana leaf? No.
No.
Kalokasha?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
Yan.
kalokasha.
And then after that, I also added glitter crystals to my base.
Wow.
Okay. Actually, kahit wala siya, okay lang. Pero somehow, I like to use
Gustong-gusto na
para
natin yung mga...
ma-emphasize yung mga leaves sa likod kasi very nice siya.
Correct.
Hindi lang talaga masyadong makita. And then, I use again the sending big hugs that Kara Crafts gave to me as a prize. So, I used the mirror paper for this and I added black foam at the back. Yan. So, para siyang may shadowy type para mas lalong ma-emphasize yung kanyang tawag dito? What do you call that? May emphasize siya mismo. Yan. So, kung makikita niyo yung gilid, medyo makapal siya, di ba?
Oo nga.
There.
So, may
Yan.
added dimension.
Oo. Para hindi lang siya basta simple lang na nilagay. And also, it adds to the sturdiness of the
card.
the sentiment. Kaya mas maganda meron siyang foam na na layer.
Okay.
And this one is my second. This is a card. Then the third one is
A tag.
Is a tag. This tag is from Miss Lala. So she
Oh,
gave me
oh my gosh,
different
that's
types
like
of
from
different shapes
December
of
pa
tag.
yan. That's from
Yes.
December.
Oo. Yeah. Oo, matagal na to. So I finally used some of it. Yan. So this one again I used the Vicky Butin Crayola. So I blend it well using the wet tissue, and then after that I added modeling paste. I used the stencil of Studio Light that I bought from Kera Craft. I don't know the name.
Mm.
There. Tapos, after that, I added again glitter crystal to some of the areas. Dito lang, unti
Mm-mm.
lang. And then, yung aking sentiment na the world needs more people like you. Yes, that
In
one.
gold. Gold,
I used the gold
mirror paper,
gold
no?
paper
Oo.
again, the mirror paper again, and then I used the parchment paper for the base.
Mm-mm.
So naka-parchment paper siya. Kung makikita niyo. So
Alright.
then I added some ribbon, 3 ribbons for this. That's it.
Okay, thank
Madali lang, di ba?
you. Congratulations. Yay. O, balikan muna natin si Miss Rams ha bago yung ano mo sis, yung short demo mo. Okay, Miss Rams. Ay, nawala siya ulit.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Where are you?
I'm
Wala,
here.
wala ka pong video.
Bakit wala ko video?
Can you
Hala ka.
go back? Come out
Yay!
and go back in, Miss
Oh
Rams.
my goodness.
Sige. We will wait for you. Okay, go out muna si Miss Rams. So, let's go back to the sisters. Okay, we'll wait for Miss Rams. Sige, ako na muna kasi ang i-ending natin ngayon si Ayien because she has a demo. So, while waiting for Miss Rams, so me first. Okay. So, basically, habang ginagawa ko kanina, I was actually telling you already what it's for, what it looks like, what I did. Oh, Miss Rams is coming back in, so maybe you can go back to Miss Rams.
Na,
There you
yeah.
go. Welcome
Okay.
back. Okay.
Yes, finally.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Anyway, di kita. Anyway, o balik. Okay. Sige. So, to continue, no, I use various colors of gelato. This metallics and parang and pearlescent. No? For my
Mm-mm.
green, I have to mix colors with blue and green and a little of yellow para lang to come out of certain color.
Mm-mm.
So,
Wow,
ito,
naggawa ka pa pala ng sarili mong color palette. Mm-mm.
yeah. And what you call this? And in modeling paste. So, minix ko lang yan.
Mm-mm.
So, yung sentiments, this die cuts came from, this was from the last, yung December challenge. I still have this.
Oh, wow.
So, here for you. Yeah. Kasi parang ibibigay ko sana to sa friend ko. Mahilig sa florals siya eh. So,
Oo.
here for you. Yan, oo. Yeah, you know naman ngayon, medyo in demand ngayon na to lift up the spirit, especially may
Yes.
mga sakit. Ayan.
Yes. Pang-inspirational
Yan. Okay.
message.
Yes.
All
Hindi siya
right.
masyado. Okay.
Okay,
And then for
awesome.
my I
What's
use
the
the
size
same
of that
technique.
card? I think that's bigger than an A2. It's bigger, no?
Actually it's the regular, yung 4 by 6 natin. 4 by 4 by
Okay. Yeah,
5
it's
and
a
a half yata or 4 by 6. Parang
okay.
ganito.
Hindi, mas malaki
Pero
nga siya. Oo, hindi
yung
siya
base
A2.
lang medyo mataas. Yung
Ah,
base lang mataas.
okay,
Oo,
okay.
malaki. Diba?
All right. And then the
Okay.
second one.
For my second, more of a masculine. So what I did, since I use the same technique because I just want to make use of those leftovers ko para hindi
Oo.
naman masayang.
Oo.
So,
Na modeling paste, no?
wave
Oo.
siya.
Wow, nice. Oh no, nawala na naman si Miss Rams. The tech issue with Miss Rams is real, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay, so
It's
let's go
real.
back to me first. The struggle is real. All right. So A po is not for Ayin, pero pwede rin. But A here is actually, it means inspire, not to have more, but to be more. Okay, so I used here yung flower po. That's a layering flower die cut from Altenew. And I used the Altenew paper then a collection that matches with this. Or I forgot what it is, but meron siyang ganon. So like a blue, reds, greens, ganyan. Meron na rin si Altenew. So perfect if you wanna do the layering dies, okay? And then this is also an Altenew monogram, which actually I've used many times over in the past Crafty Nights. So you've seen that already. So the application for the, as I said, the things I'm gonna use for tonight, I chose distress crayons, no? So you see, I colored in the monogram using various blues, okay? And then I just also added a blue. I smudged the blue underneath, okay, and then attached it like so. All right, so I will continue later because Miss Rams is back. Before mawala siya. Miss Rams, wala ka pa ring video. Oh, there you go. Yay! You have video. All
Oh,
right.
sorry.
It's okay. The waves.
Oh, mabuang ko.
Nabuang
Oh my
ko.
God, what is happening? Sorry.
Okay na po. Hindi ka na mabuang. Okay na.
Nawala na.
All right. Go ahead, Miss
Nawawala
Rams.
ako.
No. It's okay. You're good.
Yeah, okay. Oo. Teka, hindi siya nakikita. Nakikita
Oo.
ba?
Hindi masyado. Pero nakikita namin yung wonderful waves at the back.
Hindi nakita yung effect.
Yeah, the waves.
Hindi siya nakikita yung effect na fading effect. May dark at saka may splat na
So may
white.
ombre
Tapos may
mode ka.
dark.
Pero
And
nakikita
hindi siya,
namin yung white.
oo,
Nakikita
yes.
namin. Oo.
Fading effect.
Oh, hindi kaya ng
Yung
camera.
fading effect.
Oo.
Oh, anyway.
Sayang.
Yeah. Oo. Anyway, oo, sayang nga eh. And ano to siya, wave siya. Ayan, medyo nakikita na siya. Ayan. Kita ba?
Hindi pa rin.
Oo.
Pero,
And then I
yeah,
just,
we can see.
kinoncentrate, hindi siya clear. Kinoncentrate ko lang sa taas, yung
Okay.
what you call this, yung pag-design, yung pang-emboss, and then nilagyan ko lang ng sentiments. Ang nakalagay dito, it's the moments we share that changes us forever. Tapos
Aww.
nakalagay dito sa baba, happy anniversary. Yan.
That's so nice. Thank you so much, Miss Rams. And despite the tech issue, you never stopped. So, you're perfect for becoming a streamer kasi hindi ka nag-give up. Very good. Thank you so much. All right. So finally, tutuloy ko na po. Pero wag kayong maano muna kasi meron pa tayong special bonus
Thank
demo.
you.
Okay. Thank you then, Miss Rams. Okay, so just fast na
Yeah,
lang.
thank you.
Okay, so again, I already mentioned how I did this card kanina. Okay, so there's this one is already sealed with crackle paint. Okay, hindi nga lang, again, the struggle is real. Hindi nyo makita yung mga crackle. Okay, and then this one, I used one of Altenew's newest, what do you call this, stencil. This is called terraza. You know what terraza is? Normally, it's the terrace. Okay, this is the floor for the terrace. You know,
Terrace.
yung parang may mga spots yung tiles. Okay, so this is like a 3 stencil, layering stencil ang tawag sa kanya. So, I used yung shades of yellow and pale green at the back. And then, on top of it, I used yung favorite namin na kanina pa namin ginagamit lahat na glitter crystal. Okay, with another stencil naman for the parang rainfall. Okay, and then these are just chipboard glittered words for loved in the heart. And then a die cut, you are loved more than you know. Again, this is an Altenew sentiment die, mini sentiment dies that I really like, so I always use them. All right, next one is love. All right, so with this, I just use 3 colors. Okay, so these are the 3 colors that I use. Okay, so I used this. Okay, seedless preserve, dusty concord, and aged mahogany. Okay, so this one is for the middle, and this one is the inside, the middle, and the outside. Okay, so that's how it looks like. Okay, just simply I used as a base an embossed paper. Okay, using a dry embossing folder. Okay, and then just smudge on the outside one color, and then the middle, and then in the inside. And then I just put the word sentiment love on chipboard, love with glitter. And you have a kind and beautiful heart, a die cut sentiment again from Altinu. All right, next up is, okay, this one, my base. I just use the twirl. I forgot the name, hold on. I think it's called Illusion Twirl. The Illusion Twirl stencil from Altinu. Okay, and then I laid down two, I mean, actually just one yellow color of distress crayon, and then went back with a wet tissue. And so some of it, got removed, and this is how it looks like. And then I just added a golden clear, what do you call this? Granular gel. Okay? So, to add more texture and parang yung parang gem-like na ganon. Okay? So, I have add to the parang vintage look or aged look. Okay? And then, again, I told you this one, the chipboards, you cannot find anywhere anymore. I've had it for almost 2 decades. It's called the Kazoo Kids. It's a K and Company line from so many years ago. That's part of my hoarded stuff. Okay, but I really like it. And then it says, as sweet as you, wishing you a birthday for my son who had his birthday last Monday. All right, so next up is another vintage card. Again, this might seem, it looks simple, but I used about a dozen distress crayons to mix and come up with that kind of background, and then 4 different stencils to actually make those, those circles, those parang plus signs, and so many other things here. And then just simply finish it off by adding those chipboards again from the Kazoo line. Okay. And then next one is, again, I used a dry embossing folder for the background, and then just added different colors. I added yellow, orange, pink, like that. And then on top of it, a stencil, this one, the Altinu Swirl. I put it here and then remove some of it with wet tissue. That's how it looks like now, the background. And then just added a sentiment chipboard, happy with glitter, wishing you a birthday as sweet as you. All right. And then, congratulations. What a star. It's just a chipboard I'd have forever. And this one is actually, the background is a distressed swirl. And then I just placed on top this star. Okay, starfish stencil on top, so that it would look like that, and used 4 different kinds, 4 different colors of green. Okay, and came up with that, like a background. Diba? Perfect. All right, and then the rest are just tags. I already mentioned how I did this a while ago when we were beginning. All right, so basically that's it. That's basically what I did for tonight. All of this things. Okay, so Sis Ayien, are you ready for your demo? Sis Ayien? We're just waiting for Sis Ayien. While waiting for Sis Ayien, I want to read some of the comments. Wow, parang ang saya nun, as well as nakakaloka. Yes po, masaya po talaga yung card craft challenge. And we had really awesome prizes, and we even have like special trophies made of glass. All right. So, abangan ko sa IG yan, Miss Ai. Di masyado makita sa cam. Oo nga po eh. Promise, pag nagkaroon ng mga budget ang mga Crafty Sisters at si Mommy Lala, for us to have, nicer cameras on board. Kasi yung mga overhead cam namin are just actually, webcams. Okay, so hopefully magkaroon kami ng nicer cams. Alright, Sis Ayien, are you ready for your short
Yes,
demo?
ready.
Alright, this is a special bonus po. Okay.
Ay, tabingi.
There you go.
Okay, for tonight, so meron tayong dagdag na kaalaman regarding this cut and dry felt stamp pad. Okay, this cut and dry felt stamp was from one of the products from Tim Holtz. So
Mm-hmm.
ito Ranger siya. So actually this there are two types of stamp na cut and dry. But this one I used the felt one. The felt stamp pad was like of the distressed oxides that we have. So for tonight, I'll be sharing to you on how to use it. So actually naggawa na ako kanina, nag-add na ako. Kung makikita nyo, parang ang messy niya, 'di ba? But don't fret, huwag kayong matakot. Dahil ang end product niya is ganito. Okay. So ano ba yung purpose ng cut
Wow.
and dry pad? Actually kasi 'di ba when we stamp, we only
Mm-mm.
use one type of color when we stamp, 'di ba?
Mm-mm.
Actually, we usually use black.
Unless you
And
use
then we
the ombre ni Zero
yes, or
Hearts. Oo.
ombre.
Oo.
Pero at least when you use the cut and dry pad, you can actually color the parts of the stamp that you want to add color to it, not just like a
Mm-mm.
black color only.
So it's
Yeah.
like you
So ito
colored
yung
in the image
sample.
already.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
So when you stamp it, ipapakita ko sa inyo step by step, pero
Okay.
this one kasi, yan. So I just stamp this. Actually, sabi ni Tim Holtz, you can use the pad 30 times. So ito ay very useful for for holidays, lalo na kung gagawa ka ng mga multiple cards. So ganyan lang siya, oh, ang
Oo.
bilis. Meron na.
So meron na siyang black hair and
Ganda.
then
Oh,
yung dress
instant.
niya colored
Instant. So,
na.
dire-diretso lang. Stamp
Oo.
lang. Stamp again. Stamp again. There.
Alright, so you don't
Oh,
need to have
another
like
one.
magko-copics ka
There.
pa, magaganon ka
Oo.
pa.
Oo.
Oh, ang
Actually,
tagal. Oo.
pwede mo naman siya lagyan ng shade. Kaya lang kung gusto mo nang mabilisan,
Oo.
ganyan lang, madali. So, what I
Wow.
did, so, we're going to use the rubber stamp. Why rubber stamp and not acrylic
Mm.
stamp? Kasi actually yung acrylic medyo ano siya, hindi stable yung ano niya, yung stamp niya.
Yung
Nag-stretch
image.
siya, 'di ba?
Oo.
Pero when you use rubber stamp, as is siya, stiff yung ano niya, yung stamp niya. Kaya better to use the rubber stamp. Mas maganda din kung wood stamp. Katulad nito, yung pinahiram sa
Mm-mm.
kanya Miss Lala.
Mm-mm.
Pero challenge ngayon,
Kasi
tinry ko yung
mabilisan.
acrylic black. And
Mm-mm.
then I only use the cling stamp from Gorgeous Santoro.
Mm-mm.
So wala kasi ako yung magagandang stamp na katulad nung kay Miss Lala. So I use cling stamp na lang ni Gorgeous. Meron pala ako, pwede siya. Kasi
Oo.
rubber siya eh.
Correct, correct.
Okay. Okay. So, before that, so ito yung ginamit ko na na pad, no? See to it that the felt part is on top. And then yung back niya, yung parang foam, yan, yung parang foam, yun yung sa ilalim. Hindi natin kailangan yan. So, yung felt ang nasa ibabaw. Be sure to always use a permanent ink
Alright.
for this. Actually, what's the purpose of this?
Mm-mm.
Para lang siyang guide.
Mm.
Okay. And
So, permanent
also,
ink.
parang siya din yung nagiging nagbablock nung color
Oo.
when you add the inks.
Para hindi nag-migrate.
Oo, hindi siya magma-migrate. Yan. So, lagay lang natin siya. There. So, meron na tayong pattern. Okay? So,
Okay.
yung pattern natin na yan, gagawa tayo ng ng size na kailangan natin. kapag wood siya madali lang eh. Pero pag
Oo.
ganito kasi mahirap. Pero anyway, it's up to you. Alam mo naman ng mga crafter, 'di ba?
Oo.
Maano,
Maabilidad.
maabilidad. Okay. So that's the size of my stamp. So what I do, ikakat ko lang siya. So ang gagamitin yung scissor is makapal din. Kasi medyo malapad to eh.
Oo, ay siguro pakita mo sis on the side view para makita nila yung yung yes,
There.
that's how thick it is. I think
Yan.
it's about
Malapad siya.
3/4 of
Parang,
yeah, it's almost an inch thick.
no, hindi naman an inch.
Half.
Yan. 1 cm.
Oh
1
yeah, there.
cm.
Half inch more or less.
Yes. Okay. So, ikakat lang natin siya. Huwag kayong gagamit ng manipis na scissor kasi
Masisira.
made-deform siya. Masisira. Okay. There. So, I'm done with my pad.
Okay, sis Ayin, there are two parts of that eh. Okay, two sides. Okay. So which side are we supposed to stamp on the image? Which part of
Again, use the felt part.
okay. So doon kami
The felt
magsa-stamp.
part should be on top.
Okay. And doon kami
And
magsa-stamp
the foam type is at the bottom.
bottom. Okay.
Parang yung nakikita natin sa distress oxide, di ba may felt siya?
Mm-mm.
So, nasa ibabaw siya.
Okay, okay.
Okay? So, ito na yung pattern natin, no? So, kailangan meron tayong mga refill. Ito, I have refill, distress ink refills. There. So, I only have 5 here. So, what I do, wag tayo magkaroon ng mistake regarding dito sa pagko-color. Kasi, ang i-color natin is yung pinaka-pattern and not the whole thing.
Mhm.
Okay? Not the whole thing. Only the pattern. Kung ano yung nakikita yung black na yan yung kukulayan lang natin na part. So, hindi kailangan na buo mo siyang kukulayan. So, not necessary na need siya. So, ang aking hair, I color black. I want to color it black. So, lalagyan lang natin siya. Huwag kayong matatakot kapag siya, parang kakalat siya. Kasi, ganyan talaga siya. Okay, so let's add more. Okay. Ano pa yung color black? What else? Ito, yung name na Santoro. And gorgeous. There.
So, wala
And
namang
then,
exact amount, sis. Basta ma-cover lang siya.
basta makover mo lang siya. Pero wag naman masyadong unti. Kasi hindi maano eh.
Kasi a-absorb pa niya eh, no? So,
Oh, yeah, maa-absorb
oo.
pa niya eh. So, wag masyadong tipid. There. Namali ako. Yan. There. Yung lines lang. Tapos, sa baba, gusto ko yellow din. Ito, gusto ko yellow din. Then, yung aking balloon, gusto ko yellow din. Ang star ko, gusto ko red.
So, maski nag-overlap ng konti, that's fine.
That's fine. Okay, what else? Hold on. So, let's test.
Okay. So no more waiting period. Immediately, okay na.
Oo, okay na siya. Okay.
Alright. Okay. Nakaka-scared.
Nawala na yung aking paper.
Parang fish eye yung lens mo.
Ha?
Parang fish eye yung dating ng lens mo.
Oo nga eh. Ano siya eh, masyado siyang pag nagagalaw, parang nag-auto-correct siya. Ayun na, pag lapit, hindi naman. Ewan ko ba dito? Hindi ko ma-fix eh.
Alright.
Anong gagawin ko dito? Anyway,
Okay, ayan na.
there, so, pe-press lang natin. Nasaan na ang aking Yan, pe-press lang natin. There.
Okay, and then...
Finger cross. Tingnan
Ah,
natin kung okay na siya.
okay.
There.
Oh, diba
yung
ang
So
nice? Yeah.
yung kamay ko kulang ng blue
Oo,
and
you know,
ng
I was like
short.
thinking pangit kasi may mga lampas-lampas and everything. Pero, oh, 'di ba?
No,
Hindi natin
hindi.
nakulayan yung
Oo,
kamay.
mukha
So,
lang,
walang
mukha
image.
lang siyang
Parang
mukha
lampas-lampas.
lang siyang parang ang pangit, 'di ba? Pero when you use it,
Oh,
nice
you know
na.
what? I think, concept ng adhesion yan. O cohesion. Alam mo yun, yung parang dahil nandun, kung saan yung lines, dun lang siya didikit. So, kung walang line, maski lumampas siya, hindi makikita yan kasi didikit siya dun sa line ng image na in-stamp mo initially. Oh,
Oo.
diba?
Kaya ang maganda, you use the rubber stamp or
Oo.
exact yung yung acrylic block mo na gagamitin para alam mo kung saan mo talaga siya ilalagay.
Correct,
Pero
correct.
anyway, amazing na siyang tignan kasi 'di
Yeah,
ba,
that's so
tignan mo.
nice. Yeah, if you need to like make lots of images
Pero
or do layering, thank you so much, Sis Ayien. That is awesome. Saan namin makukuha yun ang susunod na tanong dyan. Saan
kung saan ka
nakukuha
mabibili.
yan, mabibili yung cut
Oo.
and dry na
Okay,
yan.
if you want to buy the cut and dry felt stamp paper, you go to Miss Vivian of
Lasting
Lasting
impressions.
Impressions.
Okay.
Yan. Tapos, I don't know if siguro they have the refillers.
Yes, they
Yan.
have the whole line.
Oo, yan. Bili lang kayo ng refills.
Oo. The whole line for
Yan.
distress inks and distress oxide. They have.
Distress
Oo.
oxides and
Yun
inks.
nga, no, hindi
Yan.
natin na-try, sis. Maybe we will try. If we can also use the oxides instead of the inks. We have not tried it.
Oo,
Right?
pwede naman. Pwede
Pwede
siya sa
daw?
oxides.
Ah,
Oo,
pwede
pwede.
din. Okay,
Pwede siya
cool.
sa oxides,
Wala lang
actually.
tayong
Oo,
wala lang
wala lang
tayong
akong
refill.
oxides.
Okay, okay.
Ink lang yung aking refills dito.
Correct,
Refiller.
All right.
Yan,
So,
that's
all
it.
together,
So,
thank you
madali lang
so
siya.
much,
Yes.
sister. Awesome. So, can we go back to our face cams so that we can actually say goodbye to everyone?
Pwedeng no face.
No face.
Please,
Grabe.
no face.
No face. Ako lang ang may
No
face.
face.
All right. Okay, hindi
Later
sila.
is the
Pero
face.
ngayon, si Tracy, in fairness, with ano bang lalagay ko? I don't know what to put here. I think maybe the original one. This one na lang. All right, so just choose one of our outputs for tonight. And again, we thank you so much for joining us for another midweek crafty night here at Mommy Guide Inc. All right, so we'll see you again this Saturday for another crafty night with me, Mommy Lala, and my dear crafty friends. All right, so don't forget to be with us 8 p.m. this Saturday. And don't forget that we're going to have next week new segment and what do you call this, shows with Mommy Lala and some of my new guests for next week. Thank you so much for your crafty sisters, Ayien, Rama, Tracy, and for those who are not here, Susan, Charlene, Miss B, and Lovy. And again, with that, thank you so much and see you Saturday. Mwah! Bye!
Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you so much.
Bye!